What the hell is happening in WWE and why is no one speaking up until it's too late? Fans are furious, the wrestling world is in shock, and WWE is scrambling to control a tragedy that never should have happened in the first place, because Bianca Belair, yes, the EST of WWE, the woman known for her unmatched athleticism, unstoppable charisma, and championship pedigree, has just suffered a devastating heart attack and is now clinging to life on hospital life support, while the very company she carried on her back for years is staying eerily silent, burying the truth behind empty social media statements and vague corporate apologies. This is not just about a medical emergency, this is about the brutal pressure, the relentless schedule, and the inhumane expectations WWE places on its top talent, especially women like Bianca who are forced to smile, flex, and perform like machines while their bodies scream for rest. And yet no one in upper management seemed to care, not when Bianca began collapsing backstage from exhaustion just weeks ago, not when she started missing gym sessions due to shortness of breath, and certainly not when she confided in close friends that something didn't feel right with her heart. Those red flags were there, glaring and dangerous, but WWE ignored them all. Why? Because Bianca was a top draw. Because her merch was selling. Because Raw ratings spiked every time she appeared. So instead of helping her, they pushed her harder, booked her for non-stop matches, PR events, media runs, and overseas tours. They saw her as a money-making machine, not a human being. And now, that machine has collapsed. Fans were stunned when Bianca missed her scheduled match last night, and rumors began to swirl after she was seen being rushed out of a WWE arena on a stretcher, unconscious, with EMTs performing CPR in the parking lot. That wasn't a storyline. That wasn't kayfabe. That was real. Her husband, Montez Ford, arrived at the hospital with tears running down his face, and insiders report he broke down completely upon hearing that Bianca had gone into full cardiac arrest during transport and had to be revived twice before being placed on life support in the ICU. She's not breathing on her own. She's not speaking. Her fate is unknown. And yet, WWE had the nerve to quietly release a generic message saying Bianca Belair is receiving medical care and we wish her well. That's it. No explanation, no accountability, no mention of the crushing schedule, the ignored warning signs, or the fact that just days ago, Bianca reportedly begged WWE officials for time off to recover from burnout, only to be told she had too many commitments. If this isn't criminal negligence, then what is? Fans have taken to social media with outrage, flooding WWE's posts with hashtag justice for Bianca and demanding that those responsible for overworking her be held accountable. And it gets even worse. Backstage sources have now confirmed that Bianca wasn't the only one sounding the alarm. Her close friend and fellow WWE superstar Rhea Ripley reportedly warned trainers and management that Bianca looked pale, fatigued, and off before recent matches, and that she even caught her clutching her chest during a recent training session. So where was medical? Why wasn't she pulled from the ring and given immediate care? Because profit trumped health. Because WWE has a long and ugly history of pushing its stars past their physical and mental limits. Just ask legends like Eddie Guerrero, who died at 38, or Owen Hart, whose tragic death was swept under the rug in the name of entertainment. Now they're doing the same with Bianca. And while WWE tries to downplay it all as a health scare, the reality is far more grim. Hospital insiders reveal that doctors are unsure whether Bianca will ever wake up. The lack of oxygen during her second cardiac arrest may have caused serious brain damage. She is unresponsive. Her fans, her family, her entire community is shattered, waiting for a miracle, while WWE continues its tour, business as usual, acting like nothing happened. And what about the emotional toll on her husband? Montez Ford has reportedly cancelled all WWE appearances indefinitely to stay by her side, but he is said to be in complete despair, refusing to speak to media or even fellow wrestlers, blaming the system that drove his wife to collapse. Several WWE superstars have reportedly voiced outrage internally, with some even threatening to walk out if changes aren't made. One unnamed star said, "We're not superheroes, we're human beings. If they can break Bianca, they can break any of us." And yet, Vince McMahon, Triple H, and other top executives have not issued a single public statement acknowledging their part in this disaster. Why? Are they afraid of lawsuits? Of backlash? Of finally being exposed for prioritizing cash over lives? Because make no mistake, this isn't just a freak incident. This is the result of a broken system that feeds on sacrifice, pain, and silence. And if Bianca Belair dies from this, if we lose one of the most electrifying, trailblazing, and beloved superstars of this generation, then WWE will have blood on its hands. No PR spin can change that. Fans are demanding transparency. They want answers. They want the truth about what led to this heart attack, what signs were ignored, and what changes WWE will make to ensure this never happens again. And let's talk about the legacy here. Bianca Belair was not just a wrestler. She was a symbol of hope, of strength, of black excellence in an industry that rarely gives women like her the spotlight they deserve. She broke barriers, she inspired millions, and she did it all with grace. If this is the end of her story, it will be one of the darkest chapters in WWE history, and one they cannot simply sweep under the rug. So to every fan out there watching this, to everyone who cheered for Bianca, who believed in her, who felt seen because of her presence on screen, this is the time to raise your voice. Demand justice. Demand answers. Flood WWE's channels. Support Montez Ford and the Belair family. Let the world know that Bianca Belair is more than a brand, she's a human life worth fighting for. And if you're as outraged and heartbroken as we are, don't let this story fade away. Because if we stay silent now, then we're allowing this cycle of exploitation to continue. This isn't just a wake-up call for WWE, it's a reckoning. And as the hours drag on and the world anxiously waits for even a sliver of hope, the silence from WWE only becomes louder, more deafening, and more disturbing. Where are the tributes, the support, the raw humanity from a company that claims to be a family? Where is the compassion when one of their brightest stars, a role model to millions of little girls, lies hooked up to machines, fighting for her life in a cold hospital room while her name is reduced to a trending hashtag they refuse to acknowledge properly? Fans who were once loyal to the WWE product are now turning their backs in disgust, calling out the hypocrisy of a company that will celebrate Bianca on magazine covers, talk show interviews, and scripted promos, but completely abandon her when her body finally gave out from the very abuse they inflicted. WWE has built an empire on the backs of people like Bianca Belair, and now, that empire is being exposed for the brutal, heartless machine that it truly is. Even the locker room is reportedly split, with some talents terrified to speak up, fearing they'll be punished or buried in storylines, while others are finally reaching their breaking point. There are whispers of talent meetings turning into shouting matches, of producers being confronted backstage, of tears being shed by superstars who saw this tragedy coming but were powerless to stop it. And what about those public figures who once celebrated Bianca for her impact beyond the ring? Where are the celebrities, the influencers, the allies, who cheered her on when she was smiling and successful? Are they speaking out now, when she needs them most? Because this isn't the kind of moment you stay silent in. This is the time to scream at the top of your lungs that something is broken in the world of wrestling, and it damn well better be fixed before we lose another legend. Montez Ford's heartbreaking vigil at Bianca's bedside has reportedly been described as unbearable by friends close to the couple. He refuses to leave her side, holding her hand, whispering words she may never hear, praying for a miracle while the doctors give cautious but grim updates. He's shattered. And this isn't just about love. This is about a man watching the woman who gave her everything to a company slowly slip away because no one thought to say, maybe she needs rest. Even worse, leaked reports now claim that Bianca's biometric data from WWE's wellness system showed dangerous levels of fatigue and heart strain weeks ago, but those reports were never flagged up to her or her trainers. Why not? Who is responsible for overlooking those red flags? Is there someone in medical who ignored the numbers? Is there someone in management who overrode the alerts because Bianca was booked for a main event? There's going to be a reckoning, and this could turn into a legal disaster for WWE if the Belair family decides to sue. And honestly, if even half of this is true, they would be fully justified. Because the trauma, the negligence, and the corporate coldness is undeniable at this point. Wrestlers are not robots. They bleed. They cry. They suffer in silence. And Bianca Belair has been suffering silently for months, while we all clapped and cheered, never knowing the real pain she was pushing through just to entertain us. Maybe that's the most heartbreaking part. That she kept smiling, kept dancing to the ring, kept flipping her braid and representing strength and joy, while internally, her body was deteriorating. And now we may never see that smile again. We may never hear her voice. If she does survive, it's likely she may never wrestle again. Her entire career, maybe her entire life as she knew it, is hanging in the balance because nobody had the guts to say, stop. So where does WWE go from here? Will they finally implement real health checks that matter? Will they change their talent schedules? Will they actually listen to their performers when they say something feels wrong? Or will they keep shoving bodies through the system, replacing the fallen with fresh faces, pretending like nothing ever happened? That's the question every fan should be asking right now. And if they don't give us answers, then it's our duty to hold them accountable. To never let this story fade. To keep saying her name. Bianca Belair is not a footnote. She's not a tragedy waiting to be swept under the rug. She is a symbol of everything that's wrong, and everything that can still be made right, if enough people refuse to stay quiet. Let this be a line in the sand. Either WWE changes now, or fans will make sure they're forced to. And as the wrestling world waits for updates from Bianca's medical team, as her fans flood social media with prayers and anger, one truth rings louder than any entrance music or scripted promo: this could have been prevented. This never should have happened. And if we allow it to happen again, then we're all complicit. Bianca Belair gave everything for our entertainment. Now it's time for us to fight for her. And just when fans thought things couldn't get any more painful, new developments from the hospital have sent an even deeper shockwave through the WWE Universe. Doctors at Vanderbilt University Medical Center have reportedly confirmed that Bianca Belair has suffered not just one, but two additional cardiac episodes since her initial heart attack, and while she was stabilized after the second, the third attack caused a significant drop in oxygen to her brain. That's when doctors made the grim decision: Bianca had to be placed into a medically induced coma to reduce brain swelling and give her body a fighting chance to survive. This isn't recovery. This is survival. This is life support. This is a once indestructible champion now reduced to a fragile, silent figure surrounded by beeping machines, IV lines, and specialists working around the clock to keep her alive. And where is WWE in all of this? Still silent. Still hiding. Still pushing forward with flashy events, pretending their top female star isn't clinging to life just miles away. They haven't canceled a show, haven't issued a proper press conference.